Welcome to the Roadrunner 89 Swirl to Investment Network, where we talk about interracial love and marriage. Hope you enjoy Swirl to Investment. All right, how's everybody doing tonight? Hey, happy Saturday, everybody. Um, I don't know if my thing froze or what. Uh, okay, my my internet's dusty tonight. I'm just going to say it. But happy Saturday night. It's good to be here. Good to do a live. Tonight, I got something I want to talk about. I want to talk about swirl to investment and its divine purpose. Okay. And I know people look at the title and say, okay, interracial dating and marriage, is there a divine purpose for it? Yes. Yes, there is. In a world we live in today where, we got a lot of hate in this world and even within our country, okay? People are angry and people are still segregated in that segregated mindset, okay? And even though we think we integrated, did we really? Okay. And the only way to really integrate is through true love, coming together, accepting everybody as equal. That's the only way you can integrate. And with all that's going on, all the political noise out there, all this social media I'm seeing, and it's disturbing. Okay. People talking about segregation. Some people say they want it, and what really bothers me is a lot of Black people are saying they want segregation, and that's not a good thing for our country. It's not a good thing for society. It really isn't. We know how segregation turned out to be. In the past, right? Not good. Okay. And Black people got the short end of the stick at every turn. And why they would want to go back to that, I don't know. Thinking it's going to be different this time? No. Anyway, we're too integrated as it is. We got a lot of interracial marriages, a lot of, people, in my white family, we got minorities within my family, and we can't, and I just don't, I think it's just stupid. Okay. But let me get off that right now. I want to talk about Swirl to investment, taking your interracial dating to marriage. Okay. And there is a divine purpose for that. Okay. Because we're supposed to come together. I sent an email and got no answer. Rush in. I didn't get your email. Did you send it to the right address? Did you put Roadrunner NM and 89@gmail.com? Because I don't remember seeing you on the email. Now I'm kind of slow at looking at my emails. Okay. But I didn't see yours, and I'm not seeing yours now. So, Rish N, I don't know who you are. Send me another email. Let me put my email address here, guys. Okay. Because .com, COM. Okay. All right. There's my email. Roadrunner NM89@gmail.com. Make sure you put the NM. Okay. So I did not get your email. You probably didn't put the NM. You probably just did Roadrunner89@gmail. I didn't get it. I don't. It's not there. Something. When did you send it? I don't see you, bud. I'm going all the way back to March 14th. So resend it. Because it's not there. Okay. Yeah, send it again. I don't know what you want from the email, but send it again and I'll answer it. Okay. I have my email open now, so tell me. Okay, the black men want to ensure that most black women stay accessible to them. Yes, that's true. I believe that. Okay. But anyway, I don't see it yet. But okay. Yeah. Okay, I'll be looking for your email. Okay. All right. Now, let me continue. Okay. Now, Swirl to an investment. There is a divine purpose. Okay. We are supposed to come together. We're not supposed to be segregated, not within our country, and really within the world. We're not really supposed to do that. When we segregate ourselves and we start to believe we're better than everybody else, that creates tension, that creates anger, a lot of emotions, a lot of a lot of thoughts we have each other. And when we're separate, we don't understand each other. There's no real dialogue. We just go off stereotypes and perceptions. And when we're in our own little group, we start to think we're superior to other people. And yeah, white people do it, but black people do it too. Okay, there are black supremacists just like white supremacists. And the thing that's breaking my heart right now is I'm hearing people talk about segregation like they want it. A lot of black people do. And it wouldn't be good for black people or white people or any of us. Okay. We'll never be equal while we're segregated. separate but equal. That was a thing that was pushed back in the day, and that didn't work out too well. It ain't gonna work out today either. And we're so intermixed. How could we even do that? So many of us have biracial children. So many of us are interracially married. That stupid shit ain't going to work. Okay, so I tell people, put it to bed. If you want to segregate yourself with other people that believe like you, do yourself segregation. But our nation ain't going back to segregation. And what's going on with this repeal of the LBJ? What's it called? It's not a bill. It's not a law. It's executive order. It's just an executive order they repealed. And the reason they did is because it had affirmative action, and they want to get rid of affirmative action in DEI. Okay, but it's still illegal to segregate. You cannot put whites only on your restaurant. I dare you to even try. Okay, you'll be sued so fast and it'll bankrupt you. Okay, it's still law. The 1964 Civil Rights law that we have is still in act. Okay, you cannot segregate. You can't do it. It's illegal, and it won't change. Okay, and some people think, oh, Trump, he's a racist. He's going to do this. No, he's not. That would be political suicide. That would, and Republicans would rally against him in a New York minute if that was the truth. Okay, we're not going into segregation. Okay, I assure you. Now, if the 1964 Civil Rights Bill Civil Rights Law is taken away, well, then I would say we got problems. But this executive order, where it pertains to government contractors and stuff it's an overlap. Okay, don't be afraid till you start seeing those signs. You see that law being repealed, then we got problems. Okay, I don't really want to talk about that. I want to talk about Swirl to investment. Okay, taking your interracial dating to marriage. And I believe, guys, I'm totally against segregation. Okay, I think it's evil. I think it's wrong. It tears us apart. It does more evil. There's nothing good about it. Okay, it just divides us as a nation. Okay, and we do need to come together. Okay, we can never be equal if we're divided. We can't. One side's always going to dominate. And who do you think that's going to be? The group that has the majority, right? So this thing is, and I know people got a lot of emotions because of the past. I know a lot of people got feelings for that. I get it. But really, you don't want to embrace that mindset. Okay? And there's too many of us that are interracially intertwined through marriage and that love each other. And we don't want to, no. Okay? But we're not going to get that way anyway. Most people in America would never go for that. Okay? I think it's more of a white nationalist or black nationalist thing that they would embrace it, but most of us wouldn't. Most of us are, have common sense, and we understand that we got to live together. We got to get along. We got to be, one as a country if we're going to survive and do what's right. Okay. I don't know why. That's just on my mind. It's really bothering me. Don't embrace segregation. Now, if Trump decides he wants to do it, he ain't going to do it. But if that happened, then we'd rally against it and we'd take care of it. Okay. But good to see everybody. Okay. Let me get to the topic. Okay. Now I want to talk about one thing right now, guys. Okay. And I'm going to talk about swirl to investment. You know what that is. If you're new to my channel, swirl to investment means taking your interracial dating to marriage. That means you swirl because you're in love with someone that don't look like you, somebody that's different, and that's okay. Okay. There's a divine purpose for that. We're supposed to love each other. And, you know, and I'm seeing a lot of white men and black women coming together with true love, having a relationship, having marriage. I've been married for 31 years, guys, to a black woman. And when I started dating back in 1985, when I was 16, my first girlfriend was a black girlfriend. Well, the only girlfriends I ever had were black women anyway. Okay. People think I'm crazy. People think there's something wrong with me. But there's something beautiful and amazing about black women that I've seen early in my life. Okay. I'm one of these men you would call that I call an investor. Okay. Let me explain what an investor is, ladies and gentlemen. And those white men or other non-black men that feel like I do, you understand where I'm coming from. Okay. An investor is someone that's attracted to a black woman and is in love with black women. And so in love that that's all he wants to be with. That's the only group of women he wants to be with. Okay. And it's not a sexual desire. It's not a lustful thing. It's not a fetish. Okay. What it is there's a connection with that man and black women. And maybe it happened, and most of the time it happened early on in his life. Okay. Where there was a connection with a black woman early on. And I tell the story on my life. I've always felt that black women are amazing. Okay. And this is going back to when I was a child. Okay. Before I could ever desire a black woman in a physical way, I was in love with a black woman because of the love I felt, because of the amazing beauty black women have. Okay. And it goes deeper than the physical. Okay. It does. It runs so deep. And people don't understand. You don't understand when people say, well, all women are beautiful and all women are desired. Yeah. But for the investor, we don't desire other women except black women. I know that sounds crazy. I know that sounds weird. And people will take it as a red flag, but it's not a red flag. It's just a love connection we had early on in life. It's something we felt. It's something that we connected. It's something spiritual. It's not something that you wake up one day and say, oh my God, that black woman looks beautiful. I want to go. No, it don't work that way. It's beyond the physical, guys. And let me tell you, and if you're an investor, when you grow up and you become a teenager and a man, you're going to desire a black woman, okay? And when you grow up into a man, you're going to desire her physically because men desire women, women desire men. It's natural, okay? But we got to do it the right way, of course, through marriage, right? But that comes later on. You feel the love before you get to the desire, okay? And you can't help who you love. You can't. It's not something I say, okay, well, this black woman turned me down, so I'll go get with an Asian woman, a Hispanic or white. It don't work that way. You get rejected from a black woman, you go for another black woman because that's what's in your heart. That's what you desire. Okay, and it's not. People always think it's physical or sexual. It's beyond that. Okay, it's engraved in us early, and we can't change it. And why would we want to change it? It's the way we are. And it's not just white men that can be that investor. It could be an Asian man. It could be Hispanic. It could be any non-black man. It's just, and the thing, how do you know you're an investor? How do you know that you have it that deep? A lot of times you feel it early when, as a child. A lot of times you could be in an all-white community your whole life and not around a lot of black people, but you desire that black woman because you had that connection. You had that spiritual connection, and you can't fight it. You can't. And I know this all sounds crazy, but I'm speaking honest to God truth. Okay, and it's not a bad thing. It's a beautiful thing. And a lot of us that are invested, we have successful marriages. We have successful families. We do good. Now if you're an investor, you can make a mistake and be with the wrong black woman. Sure. Okay, we're all human, we're all flawed. But the investor, it runs deep. Okay. Now you might ask, can a black woman be an investor? Yes, she can. There are black women that have a deep connection with white men. Okay. And I would say they're investors too, because that's what they want. That's where the desire. And we're all in. Okay. And you might ask me, can a black man and white woman be an investor? Yeah, they can. Okay. They might have that divine purpose too. It's very rare. It's not as common as black women and white men, but yeah, it is there. It's a much smaller portion. Okay. And a lot of times I promote interracial relationships with black women, white men, or black women, non-black men, because I know what's out there. I know that there are men that just so love black women so much that it just our heart is filled with that. Okay. And you might ask, can somebody become an investor later in life? Yeah, sure. Okay. And it might be from a connection, but most of us, it's so early on that we're in love before we're dating, before we're even thinking about women. We're in love with black women. And I was there. And I'm telling you, it's a divine purpose. And you look at the marriage rates within the black community. A lot of black women aren't getting married, and maybe investors are rising up because maybe it's God's divine purpose. I think it is. Because us as humans, if we want love in marriage, we should have it. Okay? And that's where we're supposed to go. And we can't be segregated and be an investor. That would never work. We just wouldn't. But that's what an investor is. When I say swirl to investment, I mean interracial dating to marriage. Okay? I don't get along with white men that aren't investors. I don't get along with white men that are turned on by black women, desire black women in the physical way, and I don't. I'm very protective in that area. Okay, and I know people are going lust after each other of the same race or different race, both men and women. I get it, it happens, but I don't like it. I believe in the investment. Okay, and I believe if you're a white man that loves black women, I don't believe you should be silent and not say anything. I believe you should defend black women. You should love and respect black women. And if you don't deserve to be with a black woman. Okay? Now I know my thing is buffering. Gosh, I hate this internet. I do. It's so dusty. But seriously, guys, the investor, okay, there's true love there. And ladies, if you meet with a white man and I would say to white men, don't tell black women that you're only attracted to black women because she's going to think you're weird. She's going to think, because it's not normal, okay? Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but keep it to yourself till the love is true, and then you can explain, okay? But ladies, don't be afraid if you're dating a white man that's only dated black women. Look, some people say it's a red flag because he's supposed to date the women in this community and I guess accidentally fall in love with the black woman. But when you truly have an investor, when you truly have a man that loves black women deeply, be careful. You could be kicking away your blessing, okay? And I say white men too. You find that black woman that loves you and is all into you, you might be throwing away a blessing. I know it's out of the norm. I know it's against the grain. Look, I opened up my options in 85 and I never looked back. Okay? It's been black women or nothing for me my whole life. And I'm married now, and I've been married for 31 years. I got kids, I got grandkids. Okay? So me and my wife, Sandy, we built a family together. We built a legacy. Okay? And that's the beautiful thing about an investor. He's all in with the black woman. The black woman is his treasure. That he looks at the black woman as a blessing. And wouldn't you want a man that's all in instead of one that's like iffy? You know? I had become so used by white men and oh. But ladies, you got to vet though, because the white guy you might be with, he might desire black women, but he might not be that investor. The investor is about marriage. The investor is about coming together, spending the life together. Okay, when I started dating, I wanted to date black women, but it wasn't to see what it's like. It wasn't because it was a sexual desire. It was because that's the woman I seen in my life, being the most loving, being the woman that I wanted to be around. And they say as a child that children I've heard psychologists say that children at 5, once they reach the age of 5, they develop their personality. They're pretty much set in their beliefs, or they're just already molded. Is that true? I don't know. But maybe with the investor at such a young age where he feels love from a black woman, and it could be from a babysitter, It could be from a family friend, just a black woman that shows you kindness, that shows you love. I tell you, with my babysitter, and my mom said it went way back beyond that. She said there was something about you and black women, even when you're a baby. I don't know. Maybe I was that born investor. Okay. But there is a divine purpose. And if you look at the marriage stats, and I'm talking about the true marriage stats, when you look at the Pew Research, when you look at the U.S. Census, national wide, black women and white men are the best option. And I'm telling you, there's these side surveys that do nitpicking at small areas that'll tell you, oh, it's not that way, it's different. They're lying. U.S. Census, they look at everything. Okay? But our marriages, black women, white men, are the longest lasting. Okay? We tend to last longer. We tend to have more success. And not just with love and family. Our kids tend to do better too. But not just that. We tend to do better with wealth. Okay? And you're going to see all these hotep, all these pro-black people out there. And I'm not talking about pro-black as black people wanting to see black people do good. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the pro-blacks that are so pro-black they turn into anti-white. Okay? They're the modern-day segregationists, just like the white supremacist group over there. Okay? Same crap. Okay? But those hotep heroes, yeah. I lost my train of thought. No, but there's so much propaganda going on with these hotep and pro-black people, okay, that want to be separate and segregated, that they want to push a false narrative. They want to tell black women and to stay away from white men, and they'll turn us into monsters. They'll make up lies. They'll make up propaganda and say that white men, it's all about white supremacy, white privilege, all this crap. And you'll even see these goofy Cocoa Puff hotep heroes out there saying, oh yeah, there's a ranking in white privilege that white people were competing for that white privilege. And when we get a black wife, oh my God, we go to the bottom. But if you have a white wife, you're at the top. That's bullshit. That's a fucking lie. And don't listen to it. Don't listen to these hotep idiots. All they are is modern day segregationists. All they are is haters. They believe in separation. They believe in segregation. And that will only lead black people to failure. Okay? They're not good for their own people. They're not good for society. They're black nationalists. They're just as crappy as white nationalists. It's the same bullshit. It's the same segregated mindset crap. We don't need segregation. We need to come together. Okay? And besides, I don't want to eat casserole at a white restaurant. I don't want that tuna casserole with no seasoning. No, I had to suffer my whole life till I got married with that. Okay? I want to enjoy black people's food. I love you, black people. Okay? I do. And you know, I love black women. Guys, black women are the most beautiful women on earth. And I'm not just talking looking at them. I'm talking within their heart, within their emotions, within their character. Black women are the best option. And go ahead and be a dumbass to debate me on that. Yeah, with raisins. Yeah, with raisins. We don't need segregation because I'll be forced to have to eat that. Well, I'm married to a black woman, so she can go in the black restaurants and get me some good food. Okay, so I could survive. uh, so food, yeah. No, but seriously, don't listen to them characters. We don't operate on a white supremacist deal. Um, I and this crazy woman was saying that like, oh my God, it's about white privilege, and and I'm like, really? Now, what you might run into, eh, ladies, if you're a black woman and you marry a white man, there might be a couple people in this family that don't like it. Okay, really, that's really what that is. Now you can internalize it and assume that these two people, that everybody's like these two individuals. Okay, they're not. Okay, most white families in today's America got different ethnic groups in our family. We've got Asian, Hispanic. Look, my family's got Asian, Hispanic people married to people in my family. Okay, we're people. We're going to fall in love with people that look different. It's okay. It's all right. Embrace it. Okay, but you know what? Within my family, I would say I'm the most successful, and I'm not bragging. I'm just saying I chose the black woman. I invested in the black woman, and you know what? My wife Sandy, and I'm going to tell you guys, she's been instrumental in the man I am today. Without her, I wouldn't accomplish half of what I did. And I'm not saying I accomplished a lot, but I did pretty good. Okay. But I have to give my wife credit for that because she loved me. She was always with me. She always, was always there for me. I will be loved, get married years in Jesus' name. Yeah, I'm going to pray for you, Just Divester, that good man comes your way. Only greens, cornbread, potatoes, fried chicken. Yeah. Oh, I love that. Oh my God, yes. My wife made some cornbread today, and she made some greens too. Yes. and and she makes that stuff. She makes soul food because my mother-in-law made that all the time, and my family. Look, we live in New Mexico. We don't know nothing about that, and my family loves it. They embrace it. And let me tell you, we live in a predominantly white community. We do. Well, no, it's probably predominantly Hispanic because I'm in New Mexico, but they consider it white community. Uh, we're upper middle class, okay. And my wife has done spectacular within the white community. She grew up in the white community, okay. Corporate world, my wife has done amazing. And as a traditional mother and wife, hands down, she's the best. Okay, I'm telling you, I've exceeded what my peers that I grew up with have. Growing up in high school, my friends, they don't understand how I did so good. They don't. Let me tell you, and I'm going to talk more about this, but I've done awesome. Okay, and it's not that I've done anything great. I'm not. I'm not a highly successful guy that just did spectacular things. You know what's led to my success? Okay, is hard work, consistency, and faith. Those three things. And my father would always tell me, I say, Dad, I'm struggling. I graduated high school, but there's nothing out there and I don't know nothing yet. He said, son, listen to me. Hard work, consistency, and faith. Okay, work hard, be consistent, do what's right, and pray. It'll work out. I'm like, oh my God, okay. But I did just that. And I've told you my story. I graduated high school, barely. I limped. Look, I was a sad case. And I'm telling you, okay? And there's a combination of it. The school system I was in sucked. I didn't live in the best neighborhood. It sucked. My parents really wasn't into my education. They just believed that the teacher would teach me what I need to know and I'd graduate and everything would be fine. But it didn't work out that way. I did graduate, but barely. I had a 6th grade reading level. I could read. It wasn't I couldn't. It was just so low. And I had enough to get in the Army. Okay, barely. Barely again. And a lot of us do that barely, just do enough to get by. Okay. But what I did is I married my wife. Best decision I ever did. Okay. And she helped me. And look, I had to do the work, but she was there for me. Okay. And with her love and her support and the faith she had in me, I was able to overcome that deficiency I had. I was able to do better. Okay. And I tell you today, I've retired from the Army. I got an amazing job. I make over 125 a year. And people can't understand why I'm successful. But the reason I'm successful is I swirled to investment. I invested in a black woman that loves me. And guys, if you find a black woman that loves you, you're set. You've hit the lottery of life. You're blessed. Okay? I'm just going to say it. But I'll talk more about that when I do my movie review later on. And I'm going to do a movie review on Acrimony later on in the show. And I'm going to tell you, and you might say, well, this is a black couple, black people, no white people were there. There was no swirling, no swirl to investment. But I'm going to tell you how it applies to my life and how it applies to a lot of white men and black women's life. Okay? And I'll put that together later on, okay? Coming over for a plate. Oh, God, you'll love Sandy's cooking. Oh, my God. My wife, look, I eat good. I can lose a few pounds because I eat so good. But, hey, I love food. I'm sorry. That's my downfall. And my wife's got to cook so good, Okay. All right, let me show you these videos, okay? And then after that, these are some cute interracial couples, guys. Okay, so watch these videos, okay? And you're going to see the blessing that they're showing. You're going to see the beauty in black women, white men coming together, okay? And if you see their channels, please follow them, okay? This one woman says, I carry ID to prove my children are my children. And it's like, and you'll understand why. She's a black woman married to a white man, and they have really light complected kids with red hair. But anyway, let me show you real quick.
Maternity test.
Okay, let me put it on the right screen. Here we go.
The doctors didn't believe my baby was mine. Are you sure I shouldn't ask for maternity test? I had to carry ID cards for my kids just to prove that they are mine. I I just want to be a mom.
Baby.
It's Mila, baby.
What happened at the bus?
Oh, let's do some jumping jack. No, we don't do jumping jack. Let's do some jumping jack. Hi, my name is Tina.
Hi, my name is Anton.
This is Mila, and she is 10 months old. And this is Michelle. How old are you? 2 years old.
How long have you been together, guys, and how did you meet?
Well, we've been together for, what is it, 4 years now?
Yeah, 4 years.
4 years. We met through a very famous dating app.
From our first date, it was like magic. Okay, that's all I have to say. Are you ready to bake? Yeah, say yay! Hold it, put it there. Cut it. Done! Well done!
All right, let me stop right there. You see this cute family, right? The kids are cute. You know, the husband and wife, they're happy. Now, these kids are really light complected, but you just see the black features in these children. They don't look just pure white. They do have some black or African features. Okay, they're really cute. And look, I got 3 children that are in. You know, me and my wife have 3 children. Okay, they're biracial, and my oldest daughter favors my wife. My son's kind of in the middle, and my daughter favors me. But they're all brothers and sisters. They all look alike, but they have different tones, skin tones, right? And they have different hair texture. Okay, my oldest daughter is more coarse, like my wife's. My youngest, she has curly hair, but it's more finer curls, right? And my son's kind of in the middle. It's different, and I think when the genetic makeup comes up, sometimes your children will favor the mom or the dad. I will say this: my daughters look like me. For some reason, daughters look like their dads, and my son looks more like my wife. Okay, it just the way it is. But we love our children, whether they're light or dark. It don't matter. They're children, right? And we embrace it. We're not skin tone worshipers over here. We don't play in that garbage. Okay, we love people. Okay, and we love our children with all our heart, right? And that's what this couple's doing. They don't care if they could have been dark or light. This family would still love their children. It don't matter.
Can you please tell me about how it was giving birth?
She came when she was 7 months old. I would never, in my widest imagination, thought my daughter was going to be redhead, even if my husband was. My daughter wasn't looking half Nigerian. I keep getting that thing in my head. Is she really mine? Because she doesn't look like me. But a lot of family and friends keep saying, don't worry, she's going to get darker.
She does look like her. She does. She is lighter. That she does look like her mother. I don't believe she don't.
Hair color is going to change. It's going to be okay. But here we are. She's the cutest ginger ever. Is it nice? It's really nice, huh? We had to put her in a special care. And I was changing a diaper. There was a doctor who came to check on her. And I saw her waiting for like 10 minutes. So I asked her, are you waiting for someone? Or she said, no, I'm waiting for the mom to come because I have to talk to her about something. And I'm like, I'm the mom. The doctor said, oh, sorry, I thought you were the nanny. She was apologizing. And I told her it was fine because anybody would have asked. And that was my first experience I had with her. And after then, it actually dawned on me that, girl, I have to be ready when I go out of the hospital because anything at this point is possible. It's raw. You shouldn't eat it.
No.
Okay, you have to just put it in here, yeah?
Okay.
Do you want to try it like mama, like this?
Actually, if you look at that little girl, she looks like she's got more black features than white, even though she's got the red hair and the light complexion, right? I think she looks just like the mom. I don't think I think they're looking more at the skin color, but you look at her feet, she looks like her mom. She does. She's cute in her own way, you know. I mean, you know, and like I said, I always said, you know what? I don't care if my kids are dark or light, or my grandkids down the line. All I care about is if they're happy. You know what I mean? And this is just a beautiful family loving their family.
When Mila was also born, she was also redhead. I had a big experience at the supermarket as well. So Mila started crying. She was really crying so hard. And this lady just walked up to me. I don't think the mother is going to like her crying. Do you need help? I just straight up just told her no. Thank you. She's my daughter.
How does this make you feel?
I feel overwhelmed. I feel blessed. I feel exhausted from explaining myself.
Hey guys, let me say this, okay? If you're in an interracial marriage and your kids don't, and this could go either way, you know, when it's black and white parents, sometimes your kids are going to be dark, sometimes they're going to be light, and some people are going to assume they're other people's kids, okay? And I know this can be hurtful, but don't let it get you down. They're looking at what they see every day. What they see every day is people of the same race getting married and having families. They don't see interracial couples every day doing this, even though the numbers are increasing. So ladies, guys, don't get mad if they say, oh, those are cute kids you're taking care of. And you're like, well, they're my kids, okay? Don't let that get to you, okay? When I look at those children, they look just like the mother. You look at their hair, it's coarse. It's like a black child's hair, but they're just light complected. So, and I know people just look at how light or dark the skin is. Don't let that bother you, okay? And I know that's the thing my wife, you know, at times got her feelings hurt because when our kids were little, they were lighter complexion. They got a little darker, but when they're real young, they're real light, okay? And my wife kind of felt some kind of way, but she knows that it's not the norm to be interracial, you know? So don't let that get to you. Just look, they're your kids. They love you. And, you know, it's two people coming together with different DNA. One's light, one's dark, but we're all human beings, okay? I know a lot of people feel some kind of way with that because it kind of like, wait, that's my children, you know, but don't let that get to you, okay?
I want to be a mom, just want to be looked as a mom. I don't want to be always attacked with that question. So I just want to show you guys this. So this is Michelle's ID card. I always have to take it with me, even though I don't want to take it, but just so I don't get asked questions that I'm not prepared for.
Yeah, it's very uncommon for Dutch children to have an ID.
Yeah. I have a surprise for you guys. I'm going to be giving away this pairs of shoes because it's 2025 and it's going to be giveaway season.
When do you start posting on social media?
So I've been posting for so long. I used to do hair tutorials, makeup and stuff. That was back in the days. So when I got married and I had my baby, I still really didn't post my childbirth and everything because it was a little bit of too much for me. But after all the comments I've been getting for like physical contact with people and stuff, I thought maybe it's time for me to just like share it. Let me just post it on social media and just for the fun of it. I really wanted to see like what is going in people's head when they see this. After 9 months of pregnancy, this is what I got. And it went crazy. Like it was all over the internet. Let me read some of the comments that I've been getting. The first one is, you are not the baby mother. My reaction to this comment is, I'm the mother, deal with it. The second comment is, maternity test for mom, please. I don't blame you for this comment because sometimes when I look at her, I'm like, are you sure I shouldn't ask for maternity test? This comment says, were you even there, sis? I was there. You're gonna see the proof when they grow up. They're gonna have my nose, they're gonna have some of my chin. So
They already have her features. If you really look at them, they do. Those kids favor the mom. Yeah.
it's gonna be okay. Are you a house sitter or a baby sitter? Because they don't look like yours. Okay. I am all of the above. I'm everything. So it's a whole list of job that is added to motherhood, and I'm taking it all in. I am the mom. I love my kids. I love the way they look. They look amazing. I'm grateful, and I'm just blessed to have them. My husband is not someone who is not a social media person. He's more like a chill guy, more like, don't want to do my thing, kind of.
What does that mean? What that has to do with anything?
When you're chill now, like you're chill. When I said I got a bad comment and you were telling me on the stairs, you have to choose if you want to keep doing social media, you need to know about the comment, you have to.
You're gonna get bad comments.
Yeah.
There's bad people, so people gonna say bad stuff.
Okay, are you ready?
And if that's gonna affect you, then you shouldn't be in social media. And since then, she's not been focusing on the negative comments, just on positive comments.
As my manager.
As your manager of your mental health.
I also got a lot of comments from Nigerians, from my country as well. They were saying, oh, she doesn't look like us, but it's fine. Keep the look. You got our gene because it's in there. She's eating African food, spicy food, everything. She's eating it, she loves it.
What happened at the bus?
Oh, I was asked for an ID. So I don't know if it's because it was an international bus or whatever, but I was literally asked for an ID. And I had to call my husband to send me a screenshot of the passport for Mila because I didn't have an ID card for her. So I didn't really take it personal, but we were the only one that was asked.
So you don't see this as discrimination, or?
I'm not calling it as discrimination. I just think like it's just strange for people to think you have a child that doesn't look like you. So it's always a stare when you go out there with your kids and everybody's like, oh, they're so cute, they got red head. Anton, when he's with me, we don't get the question a lot. We only get that stare. But when I'm alone, I get a lot of stare, a lot of question, a lot of doubting. You see it on people's faces. Such a thing that now, if I am going anywhere, I'm just double prepared. I just have to be ready. I'm just overthinking things. What if? What if? Yeah?
Mommy.
Yeah. My gene is gonna fight back in the next round, okay? So I need you guys to pray for me at this point.
I hope we can continue this journey and show people how amazing our children are.
And we are happy with our children, and in the future, we want to see them be that person that they want to be. And we want to see them grow with the positive comments and the excitement of everything around them.
Awesome. All right. Good video. Okay. Usually biracial kids aren't that light complected, but it does happen. And you know, I when I look at the children, they didn't have the mom's feature. I think the oldest did, from what I've seen. The little girl had coarse hair and features, you know, black person's features. They look like both the parents. They're just light complected. But it's a cute story, and you know, they love each other. Isn't that a beautiful thing? I mean, and that what we want is true love, right? And I see beautiful stories like this all the time. I see this stuff in real life too, you know. I'm going to show you a interracial couple. The man is Chinese and the woman is African, okay? And the Chinese man is taking his African wife to meet the parents. Okay. The dad is not so welcoming. Okay. And some cultures, it's not like that. A lot of cultures, they want people of the same racial group. Okay. But in China, in today's world, there's a lot of Chinese taking up African wives, if you didn't know that. There's such a deficit of women in China because China has been aborting their female children for so many years that it's created an imbalance. Because the men within their culture could bring more money to the family. They valued men more than women, sadly. And they have an imbalance today where there's so many more men than women. And a lot of these Chinese guys, you watch documentaries, some are like in their 50s and never been married, going overseas to look for a wife. And the stuff us as men in the United States, we take for granted. Like we get married whenever we want to, pretty much, but anyway, I'm not going to go into all that. I'm just going to show this couple. They look like a cute couple, a young couple. He's young, she's young, and he's bringing. I don't know if she's his wife yet, but he's bringing her to meet his family. I think that is his wife. But anyway, let's take a look.
艾瑞克回来长长见识啊，现在要回家了，还得。
Okay, guys, you're going to have to read the subtitles, okay? Because he's speaking Chinese, okay? So we'll follow along here, okay? All right, let me narrate. What he's doing is he's bringing her home to introduce her to his family in China, okay? I had some with English, but I must have downloaded the wrong video, but I'll narrate it. What's going on? He's going upstairs. He's leaving her downstairs before, okay? He's telling her about his wife that he's bringing up to meet her, and his mom is pleased with his son bringing this woman into their house. He wants a Chinese woman, okay? He wants his son to be with. The guy speaks broken English. The woman's from Africa. She speaks English fluently. So there's a language barrier going on here. But I guess it's like tradition. Talk to his family before he brings the woman up. Okay. You see what just happened? He shook her hand, but he wasn't pleased. He left. Okay. He's not happy with his son's decision. Okay. Because she's a black woman. Okay. And he's afraid how it will look with his son with a black woman in their culture where they're at. And I don't know much about Chinese culture, but I'm not saying all Chinese are like that. But the mom seems okay. Okay, she's friendly. The dad's like, no, he's like, he's not happy. Okay, and you can tell, even though not understand what they're saying, but you can look at the body language. You can look at what's happening. For this young man to swirl to investment is going to be difficult. And I'm telling you, if you want to be hated, listen to me. When you want people to react, and I would say in most cultures, whether you're white or Asian or something else, say you love black women and say black women are the best. You're going to get some hate from people. I know I did. Whenever I'd uplift black women and say they're the best and they're the most beautiful, there's a lot of people that don't like that hate me for saying that. Okay? There's some people that love me for saying that too, but you can see a cultural problem going on. The dad ain't having it. The mom's okay. I think The mom don't have a problem, but the dad does. Anyway, let's continue. He just slammed the door. He's pissed. His father is pissed. He looks concerned, like he don't want his father to disapprove. But look, the young lady's concerned. She's like, "What's going on?" I think she knows, but it's kind of troubling. And this guy, I think it's like a brother or something that's narrating. He's like, "Well, what's going on?" The dad has problems, and it's sad because you got two young people that will probably love each other, right? And that girl should leave. You think so? I don't know. What do you guys think? Maybe she should, because that looks like a hostile environment. She's in a foreign country. She's African in China. I'm not going to say she should leave, but it's one thing in America. Ladies, if you fall in love with a white man and one of the parents don't approve, it's like, okay, you're in the same country, you're still in your same environment. You could say, well, okay, the hell with the father or the mother, whatever, and live your life. But she's in a whole different environment. She's got to feel kind of vulnerable. She's not in her environment. You know what I mean? And hopefully this man is strong enough to put his father in check to be with her. He should take her and go. Yeah, he should go to Africa and leave China. You know what I mean? I'm just he'd be more accepted in Africa than China, I believe. Seriously. And it's unfair for me to say that because I don't know Chinese culture. I've never been to China, but I just have a feeling he'd be better off in her environment than where they're at now. What do you guys think? Right there. I can't understand the language and nobody else can, but we can read the body language, right? It seems like these are two young people that I'm sure would have a great loving relationship. And I haven't watched the whole YouTube channel. Maybe it works out great and wonderful, but I wanted to show this because no matter where you're at, there are always going to be haters, okay? And when you swirl to investment, you got to make sure it's right. You got to make sure you're strong enough to do this. Now, I would say a black woman and an African black woman and China, I think that just, that to me seems like kind of, I think it'd work out better in a European country because she speaks the language. And there are a number of black people in European countries or in America where she would fit in better, I think. But who am I to say? Maybe God has meant these two to be together, and maybe it's God's will, and they're going to be just fine. That's what I want to believe. And look, when it's meant to be, it can be in a situation like this in work. Okay? But anyway, I just wanted to show you that. People are opening up their options across the world. Okay? We're seeing more interracial relationships, and not just black and white, but we're seeing black and Asian, black and Hispanic, black and Middle Eastern, or wherever. Okay? People fall in love. And look, you love who you love, and who cares who's lighter or darker or whatever. That to me is skin tone worship, and it's crap. Okay? And, as time goes by, the younger men and women, they're coming together and they're like, oh, okay. And they're more accepting. I know within my history of interracial dating and marriage, I've seen things change through the years. I've seen where people thought I was crazy back in the day to where they kind of admire me for having the courage to open up my options. And they understand that Black women are an asset, that Black women are a treasure. Okay. And both my mother and father have said how amazing my wife is. And they're not saying it to make me feel comfortable. They're saying it because it's true. Okay. And they've seen how my wife has been instrumental in my life, making me better. Okay. And I talk about that a lot. I owe a lot to my wife. If my wife, she is my everything. She is a blessing from God. The word Sandy just means that there is a God and he loves me. That's what Sandy means. And Black women are amazing. And a Black woman that loves you will give you everything. And the reason a lot of times that don't work is because the man ain't loving the Black woman the right way. He's not giving back. It's not reciprocal. Okay? It's like the Black woman's giving everything and the man's taking. But when you give back, it blooms into a blessing. Okay? Anyway, let me show another couples. And I might cut it out in the middle because it's kind of long and drawn out. But I just want you to see it.
Yeah, we're gonna do that one.
Hey guys!
And welcome to our channel. I'm Danya.
I'm Joey,
And this is Paprika. She's our little foster pup that we're watching.
my newest foster pup.
And this is Danya's cup of joe. And today we are going to be talking about our first dates and a little bit of everything else sprinkled in between. So stick around.
POF, Plenty of Fish, is where we decided to set up our profiles during our busy lives 5 years ago and start looking for, some dates.
Okay, they met at Plenty of Fish. Okay, I'm not familiar with the dating sites. I've never used one. Look, I've been married 31 years. Okay, my last date was 1993, and that was my wife, Sandy. So back in the day, we didn't have dating sites. They were there, but it was kind of very far and few between. It wasn't like you went online. You had to I think it was like you went in and made a video yourself and they would share the video. And if somebody liked how you looked or how you talked or whatever. But today dating sites are, I guess, a big thing. My personal opinion is I think people should meet face to face. I think it should be organic. Any girlfriend I had and my wife, I had to approach. I had to talk to the young lady. I had to talk to my wife. I didn't meet nobody online. It was up close and personal. But I think it's a good thing in a way because you see who you're talking to. You don't just get a visual, but you get a better feel, I think. There are some of these dating sites, maybe, they might show a younger picture of themselves, or, you might think there's something that they're not. Like if I went on a dating site, let's say I was single at my age, right? And I showed a picture of me at 20 years old, okay? I would get, I would get a lot more hits than I show a picture of me today, okay? Just because I've gotten older, I've aged several years. So that might not be a realistic, but close and personal, you see what you get, okay? Now, I've heard some things like dating sites are great and they work wonderful. Or I've heard people say negative, right? I guess it depends on who you connect with. Because be careful, ladies and gentlemen. There are people that go on dating sites to hook up. Okay. There are people that go on there to see who they can hook up with and have a good time. Not everybody's looking for a wife or husband. Just beware, okay? Be careful, okay? But some people it does work, okay? And for these two, it worked for them, okay? But it don't work for everybody. Anyway, let's continue.
Outside of the workflow.
How did you decide when you were ready to start online dating?
I think because I knew I didn't want to do like Match.com or eHarmony, and I really wasn't after like, oh wow, you know, I have to go out here looking for my forever, or looking for, you know, that sort of like aim, like, you know, what are you shooting at in life? Oh, I'm shooting at somebody to really settle down with. I wasn't ready for that. I was just working 3 jobs and didn't have time to really meander around town. So
Spell meander.
meander, MEAND.
When I decided to start dating, it was because I was working a lot at the time. I had just started my career off in television. So I was working crazy hours, and Joey's actually only my second real relationship.
Yeah, so sorry for you guys.
Well, because my first relationship was when I was in college, and we dated for almost 5 years. And after we broke up, after we graduated, I just kind of decided that I wanted to be single and ready to mingle and just enjoy my time alone. She's
like, I smell
I know.
BS. No.
Shut up. My first date with him, I knew I was going to marry him. But let's backtrack a little. Let's rewind and let's go to our first message. You messaged me,
wow.
right? Or did I message you?
I probably messaged her, knowing that's how the world works. Go after it if you want it. I said, oh, who's this cutie in the blue dress? I was like, she was doing what Don.
So go to eHarmony, find the love of your life, and get a puppy and live happily ever after. No, I'm just kidding. This looks like a happy couple.
She does, which is like seeing some good lighting and feeling her outfit, and she was just like, or something.
On that 2014 iPhone.
Yeah. And I messaged her, and then she just asked something simple like, hey, what do you do for work? And I wrote like an essay in 3 different parts.
Talked about the 3 jobs that you did. And
Okay, awesome couple. Okay, I want to stop it right there. They want to talk about how they met and their jobs, and it's a beautiful thing. Okay, this next one I really want to show you because this couple is awesome. But the couple I just showed you, they met online. They're talking about, you know, what attracted them to each other, and it worked. Okay, sometimes the dating thing don't work. The dating app, I've heard. I'm so old school. I can't even imagine going online and giving somebody a hit and see how many hits I got, and that could be a false sense of security, right? And I think, and I've heard people say this, like they'll go on their app, their dating app, and say, "Oh, I got 50 hits. Oh, that's 50 women that are interested in me." Then again, are they really interested in you? Do they see you face to face? Do they? I don't know. It just seems like not genuine. But when you're talking to a woman and she, right then and there whether she's into you or not, it's like there's no confusion. Well, usually there's not. She might lead you on, but usually you can feel it, right? Both men and women, they know when that connection, whether it's there or not. But online, I think that could be kind of skewed. What do you think? Those that have done the online dating thing, what do you think? I don't know. I can't speak from experience. I don't know. And I'm being honest. Okay, let me do the copyright disclaimer. Fair use, fair use. Fair use. Okay? These videos were using under copyright disclaimer 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. You know the deal. Fair use. Okay, let's continue. All right. Now they got that out of the way. If you want to see it again, just rewind. Okay. All right. Let's show this one real quick.
I have covered many love stories, but Nathan and Hallie's journey stands out as a tale of reconnection and growth.
What is the age gap between the two of you? I'm a young bride.
I'm 7 months older than her, exactly. So she's really not that young.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude, you're 7 months older than her? Oh, man. So they're basically the same age. I thought it was going to be a big age gap, but 7 months? Okay. Oh, yeah. It's like me and Sandy. She's 10 months older than me, but we were born the same year. Okay, carry on.
But there will be a time that he will be 27 and I will be 26.
Nathan, originally from America, and Hallie, from Kenya, first met in Nairobi during their teenage years.
How long did you guys date?
10 years.
No. We started dating in 2017.
Yeah.
Beginning of 2017.
Their story began when Hallie noticed Nathan at a summer camp, secretly nicknaming him T-shirt Boy because he was selling merchandise that week. Their paths crossed.
Oh my God, she's little. Either that or he's a really big guy. But this is real neat. He's from America. She's from Kenya. You know, if I was young back in the day and I was overseas, I could see falling in love with an African woman. It seems like African people are a little different than American Black people. And not to say one's better than the other. I would never say that. I think a lot of times African people are more accepting of white people. And maybe it's because, you know, of the country's slavery, Jim Crow history, you know, that to where there's like a little backlash there. Not saying you can fall in love with Black people in America. Look, my wife's from America, and she's amazingly awesome. But I could see how a lot of interracial relationships with African women and white American men can flourish. And from what I've heard is a lot of African families that their father is okay with their daughters being with white men. They see it as a good thing and not, oh my God, you're with the colonizer, the enemy, and all this crap. But, you know, it's beautiful wherever it takes place. Okay. But anyway, let's continue.
Again when she transferred to his high school for her final 2 years. Though they attended the same school, they barely interacted until the last few months before graduation. Nathan vividly recalls noticing Hallie at the beach during a school trip, a memory that has remained fresh in his mind.
Wow, they went to the same school? So she must have been a foreign exchange student at a school. Wow, that's amazing.
Those final months of high school marked the beginning of their connection, which would later evolve, break apart, and eventually grow into something unbreakable. After graduation, they kept in touch for 6 months before officially dating. Their relationship lasted for about 1.5 years before they separated. Nathan admits that he initially sought Hallie's attention after a breakup with a previous girlfriend, acknowledging his emotional state at the time. On the other hand, Hallie had already processed her own breakup and had emotionally moved on by the time they started dating. Years passed without communication between them until the fall of 2021, when Hallie reached out to Nathan.
Oh, was he living in Africa? Maybe that's what it was. Okay. That makes sense. Okay.
He was living in the United States while she remained in Kenya. Their conversations, initially casual, soon deepened, forcing them to reconnect and understand each other as different people from their past selves. The long-distance friendship allowed them to communicate openly without physical distractions.
Okay, what guys? So go to Kenya and find a Black wife. No, just
Over time, their bond grew stronger.
well, you could.
When Nathan returned to Kenya in early 2022, there was anticipation and uncertainty about whether their rekindled relationship would survive being in the same physical space again. However, things fell into place naturally. Nathan felt as though he was coming home to his best friend, and life together felt effortless. Hallie, in turn, felt an emotional safety she had never experienced before, which further cemented their relationship. As time went on, their relationship continued to flourish, leading to their engagement in October 2023. Unlike many couples who need breaks from each other, they found spending time together enjoyable and fulfilling. Living together introduced them to new aspects of their personalities. Nathan, despite being more introverted in social settings, turned out to be the one who preferred going out occasionally, while Hallie was content spending days indoors in what Nathan humorously called her daytime pajamas. Adjusting to cohabitation was surprisingly smooth. Having separate bathrooms helped, and they respected each other's need for personal space. Their biggest challenge seemed to be agreeing on what to watch on TV, with Nathan teasing Hallie about her love for reality television, which he called garbage. Their striking height
Garbage. Hey, I agree with him. Reality TV is garbage. I agree with you, bro. He referred to it as garbage.
difference, Nathan being 6 feet 1.5 inches and Hallie at 4 feet 10.5 inches.
4'10". Wow, she's little. He's 6 feet. Oh my God, that's almost like my mother and father. My dad was big, like almost 6 feet. My mom was 5 feet tall. So that's kind of how my parents were. But that's cool. That's cute. I mean, hey, loves no, what's that? Love knows no color or size, right? Big or small, it's all good.
Often drew attention online, where people mistakenly assumed Nathan was a giant. However, in reality, Hallie is just exceptionally petite. Nathan deeply admires Hallie's ability to care for others, appreciating the way she nurtures the people around her with thoughtfulness and emotional depth. Hallie, in turn, loves Nathan's curiosity and his drive to learn about everything, from words to nature and people. Most importantly, she values the sense of emotional security he provides. For their wedding, they prioritized intimacy over extravagance, initially hoping for a Christmas wedding, but later settling on the following summer due to venue availability and the schedules of their families. They planned multiple small ceremonies to ensure all their loved ones could celebrate with them. Instead of rushing off on a honeymoon right away, they chose to spend quality time with family and friends who would be traveling to attend the wedding. Despite occasional online comments about their interracial relationship, they have faced no real-life backlash. Neither has been questioned about getting married in their mid-20s, as it is common in their Christian circles. Both consider Kenya home, as Nathan spent about 20 years there with his family, and it is where they envision their future together. Hallie.
So they're Christian. Okay, that's great. So they got married in their mid-20s. Okay, I think being Christian and being traditional, within my family, we do get married young, more so than most. Look, I got married at 24, so my wife was 25. We're Christian, and I felt that it was almost like I was a late bloomer. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but a lot of Christians get married young. And maybe that's because they're celibate till marriage, and maybe that's a motivator to get married. No, but seriously, Christians do tend to get married younger. Okay, it's more traditional. I think we should go more to that traditional, where we get married young, not too young, but not too old either. A lot of people get married at 40, 50, 60. Like, I mean, you miss so many years. You know what I mean? I'm glad I married my wife when I did at 24 because, I'm still at the age where I can enjoy my kids, my grandkids, and get to see my great grandkids, good chance before I pass on. My grandfather was ecstatic when I got married. He's like, oh, I get to meet my great grandkids before I go. That was his excitement about the marriage. My grandma was like, oh, she's black. What are you doing? She didn't say that, but she told my dad that. Like, what's he doing? Why did you let him do this? I'm like, my dad's like that. He's his own man. He makes his own choices. And the beautiful thing, my parents had my back with my interracial dating and marriage. My parents were amazing. My mother and father are, I tell you what, I can't complain. Straight up, I can't. I've been blessed. But anyway, let's continue.
Has embraced content creation as her full-time career, and they have found ways to integrate work and personal time, especially during their travels. As they look toward marriage, they believe the key to a successful relationship lies in friendship as the foundation and the ability to grow both individually and together.
Well, hey, Dust Divester, you can make them shave. Make that ginger shave. You like them shaving, make them shave. That's what I'd say.
Their story is not about grand romantic gestures or perfect timing, but about rediscovering each other, evolving together, and realizing that sometimes your best friend can become the perfect life partner. If you enjoyed their love story and want to hear more inspiring journeys like this, don't forget to subscribe.
We're on vacation, and these are our outfits of the evening. I'm wearing a... I have to say it again. I was waiting for you to say something. Vacation, and these are our outfits of the evening. I'm wearing a dress, but it's actually a skirt from Dish.
Short people.
I'm wearing a skirt that I'm wearing as a dress from Dish, and I have this little basket bag, which was a gift from my mom. And what are you wearing?
Forgot your earrings.
Oh, my earrings are from Madewell. And my engagement ring is from my fiance. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm wearing, my shorts are Chubbies.
Nice.
My shirt is made in Lamu by Ikem.
Yeah, you look very handsome.
Thanks. You look good too.
Thanks.
My shirt is made at Walmart.
So nice.
Okay. Bye.
It's official. We are getting married, and I've got the invites to prove it. We used the Brides and Minted color of the year, which, if you didn't know, was Verona Sunset. And get this, our wedding will be at sunset. Just like our save the dates, we custom designed our invites with Minted. We chose the Racket Suite from the collaboration and worked with the Minted Online team to customize it to just the way we wanted it. Our invitation suite has 4 parts. The first, obviously...
Oh, is that right? He was not a Christian? I thought he said he was a Christian. Okay. Maybe something I didn't catch. I don't.
Being our invites, the one for the day before, the one for the day after, and our digital RSVP cards, all wrapped.
Yeah, she don't sound African, does she? She don't have that accent. But that's not to say she's not from Africa. I mean, I don't know.
Up in the belly band, ready to go in the envelope. We are so excited to share these with our friends and family and surprise them with a little pop of color to get them excited.
All right, very good. Okay, I'm gonna drop this down. What'd you say? Being equally yoked spiritually is mandatory. Yes, sir. That was a deal breaker with me and my wife. Us both being Christian, we both had to be, or it was a deal breaker. But it just so happened we're both Christians, so it worked out. Yeah, amen. All right. Oh, you're ginger. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about this ginger. There's a lot of gingers going on. Okay, you're ginger. Okay, I get you. Okay. Glad both me and my fiance are Christian. Yeah, that's you got to be. I mean, and it worked out great with me and my wife because we're both Christian. Now, and we're both Baptists, right? You would think our churches would be the same. Oh no. Let me tell you the difference between churches. Okay, you go to the white church. You go in. You know, people shake your hands or whatever. You go sit down. You stand up, you sing some songs out of the hymnal, and then you sit down. The preacher gets up, he preaches, gives the word, and then you have the altar call, and people go down and pray, and then, you know, people talk to you. Do you know Jesus? Do you know, have you been saved? You know, we'll do that. And then by 12 o'clock noon, it's over. We're out the door, and we're never late. Okay, a white church runs like a Japanese train. Okay, it's always on schedule. It's never late, and it's very predictable. Okay, you go to a black church. Oh my God! Now let me tell you, my wife went to a church that was predominantly black. Okay, and nothing against it. It was a good church. You know, the people were awesome and stuff, and but you go in there and you're thinking, okay, by noon we're out. Well, no, it's going all day and all day and all day. And at first you go in and people are singing, and black people can sing better than white people. I'll admit it. And, you know, and they'll start singing and you'll get wrapped up in it and it just sounds beautiful and you get motivated. And I think it's the Holy Spirit and you just get all into it and people are singing, you're singing, and then you're all day and you're like, okay, that was wonderful, but what was the message? And it's almost dark and you're hungry. And I'm serious. And when we got married, we went to the white church because we could go in and out, get the message, and, you know, be eating lunch right at noon. I don't know. It's kind of different, but nothing bad about it. I just, God, when I went to my wife's church, it was like all day. I mean, after a while, you just burned out. It's like, yeah, love God. It's great. I don't know. But anyway, but yeah, you do need to be equally yoked, or you're going to have problems. Okay. But yeah, that's the differences. Like black church, they last all day. But the choir sings great. They're like in unison. You go to a white church, it's like, you know, there's a few that sing good, and the rest of them just really ain't good at all. I just got to admit it, but it's all good as long as you're doing it for the Lord and doing the best you can. Okay, the Lord honors it, even if our singing sucks. I know mine does. Oh my God, what makes black church worse than an afternooning musicals ad? No, I'm not saying it's bad. It just, I was just like, I'm not that, I was never into church that much to be there so long. And maybe I needed to work on my spirituality, but no, but it was good. I mean, you know, when I got married, the thing is I proposed to my wife, like, after dating her for 2 months. 2 months, I knew I wanted Sandy to be my wife, right? So I proposed to her, and she said yes. And, you know, it was beautiful and stuff. And, you know, when I had to go back to the Army because I just joined the Army, right? And so I went to basic training and AIT, and I told my wife, I said, when I get back, we'll get married, right? But I couldn't give her a date because I didn't know how long the training would last, right? So it was like up in the air. So what I would do is I just send her money so she could plan for it, make sure she's financially set to make it happen. And when I came home, my preacher was out of town, so he couldn't marry us. So we went to my wife's preacher, and he was like, well, I'll talk to you, but you got to go through my counseling and all this stuff. And, that's usually, like 3 weeks. Make sure this is what you want. And so we went and talked to him, right? And we want to get married. And the preacher asked both me and my wife, why do you want to get married? Why do you guys want to be together forever? And he asks us these questions. And, I love my wife, Sandy, so much that I just told him why. I said, she's amazing. She's everything to me. This is my wife. I want her to be my wife, and I want to have a family. And I just kept going on and on. I said, oh, okay, hold on. I got it. He asked my wife. And my wife's like, oh, I love this guy. He's just everything. And he looked at me and my wife, and he said, why are you wasting my time? And I'm thinking, oh, my God, okay. It's a black preacher. I'm white, and she's black. Oh, here we go. That's what's going through my head, right? He said, why are you wasting my time? And I'm like, what do you mean? He said, are you sure you're not married? I says, well, we want to be. He says, you guys talk like you've been married for years. He said, it's amazing. Usually most people that I talk to and counsel, they're not as motivated or into each other like you two are. He says, you're going to be all right. And he agreed to marry us like later that week. And we got married. And, when I came home, he was like, wow. He says, you guys are doing, I knew you guys would work. I knew it. I could tell. And we seen the guy the other day, and he's like, yeah, 30 years. He said, you're the ones I knew would work. There's something about you guys. He said, I could see true love. And, and I think sometimes you can. When you're in love and you know what you want, there ain't no confusion. There ain't no, well, I don't know. I want this, but will it work? It was like we knew it was going. We're all in. You know what I mean? And it's like when you love somebody, they're everything to you. When you love somebody, you want them with you all the time. You want to build a life with them. It's something that you want more than anything. But anyway. Okay. Now, I'm going to give you some reasons why you should consider opening up your options. Black women, white men. Or when I say white men, that's also non-black men. You can be Asian, Hispanic. Okay? I'm going to give you some reasons why you should consider the black woman. Okay? The black woman is the most loving woman there is. She's the most loyal. Okay? And some people get confused. They might say, well, the black community, their marriage rates are low and they don't get married as much and they have the highest divorce rate. Yeah, that is true. But I think it's because black women are expected to do more than what they should be doing. Okay, I think black women pretty much can carry the community on their back and are expected to do so and expected to be there and make things happen and to uplift the black man. I think that's it. There's so much on the black woman's shoulders. Okay. And I think it's that way in the white community. The white man is supposed to provide for the white woman and make sure she's cared for and everything. And I think we're similar in that situation. And when we come together, when we're both pouring into each other, I think that's what really makes our relationship strong and lasting, because we're both doing the work, if that makes sense, right? Anyway, let me show this slide here. Why white men should invest in black women. Okay. Black women are the most loving, most loyal, most nurturing. We always say black women are the most race loyal. Okay. I don't think it's so much that they're race loyal. I think it's more that they're love loyal. If you find a black woman that loves you, she will pour into you. Your goals will end up being her goals. Okay. And when a black woman loves you, she's all into you. Okay. And I think where men fall short with the black woman that loves them is they're not pouring back into the black woman. And I think white men tend to pour more back in the black woman because we're used to being the leader. And I don't mean this to sound bad, but I do believe us as white men value our women more so than black men do. Okay. And when I say our women, the women we date or marry. Okay. I don't mean racist specific. Okay. When we marry a black woman, she's our wife. So we're going to pour into her. We're going to make sure she's taken care of. And it's built in our culture to do that. You know, in our culture, the woman is the prize, is the treasure. In the black community, it's the man that's the prize and treasure. So it's kind of almost the opposite, right? All right. And now black women, they are the most educated. Black women are strategic. They look for what they want in a man. And they're more resilient. I think black women would have higher standards if they believe marriage was more of a chance of having. I think in the black community, so few get married that a lot of black women kind of give up on marriage and hope to have a good boyfriend. Okay. And it's not their fault. That's just the environment they're in. Okay. But if black women would open up their options and have, you know, and make the man be a man, she would be better off. Okay. But when a black woman opens up her options, she's pretty strategic. And black women are strategic anyway. They know what they want and they go for it. A lot of black women, they do good in the corporate world because once they find their place and they're so driven to do better. And white men and black women do good together because we're kind of like on the same chord, you might say. We're both leaders in our community. We both know what we got to do. And when we find true love, we excel. We sure do. Okay, number 3, black women are the most beautiful spiritually. Okay, I don't think there's any woman more spiritual than the black woman. I really don't think there's any. Emotionally, I think black women are the most emotional. I think because black women have the biggest heart. Okay, and that the emotional and the spiritual, when it connects, it's a beautiful thing. And physically, okay, that's just, look at a black woman, you could see the beauty. Okay. Number 4, 44% less chance of a divorce. White men, if you marry a black woman, your divorce rate goes down 44%. You have a 44% less chance of a divorce than if you married a white woman in your community. Okay. And black women, your marriage rate skyrockets. You have over a 50% less chance of a divorce if you chose the white man. Okay? Black women, white men marriages are the most successful, most long lasting statistically. Just about every study you look at tells you that. Okay? And if you look at the US Census, it backs it up. Numbers don't lie. Okay? Black women, white men marriages will increase and bless our nation. I believe that. Okay? I believe black women, white men, their marriages will improve our nation. And look, I believe it'll improve the marriage rates. Okay? We'll have less divorces. Our children will do better according to the numbers. Okay? And that helps our nation. All right? Then black women open up their options, have more options. Thus, the men that want to be with black women have to compete. And when men compete, they become better men. And women, not just black women, but women get a better man when the man has to compete. Okay? So when I look at it, it is divine. God wants us to come together as people. Okay? And when I look at Christianity, it's about saving souls. Okay? But when we increase our marriage rates, we have more success, we have more stability in our families, within our nation, within our communities. And we need to get out of this black and white community stupid shit. We're the American community, okay? And regardless of who's doing what, we either benefit or suffer. The more children born out of wedlock, the more problems we have. And you're going to have, and you don't even have to be part of that family, okay? Because usually kids that have to deal with one parent, not saying children that come from a one-parent household can't be good kids and be good men and women. They are. But a lot of times they're more susceptible to dropping out of high school, more susceptible to substance abuse, more susceptible to problems, issues. Okay? Hey, good night, Diamond Lace. Sorry, this has gone quite long. But it's why you should consider opening up your options. Okay? Okay. Now let me go to part 2. And this ain't going to last as long, but let me get this in. Okay. Do you guys remember the movie? Acrimony. Okay, you remember it? It's a Tyler Perry movie with Taji B. Henson. I think that's her name, right? Very popular actress, very good actress, okay? And this movie was about a woman that gets married, okay, to a man she meets in college. They fall in love, and she pours into this guy and loves him and supports him while he's trying to get his he has this battery he created. Well, anyway, okay. Let me show you some of these scenes. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's mixed reviews. I thought it was a good movie. A bit unrealistic, though, I must say, though. All the stuff that happened, I'm like, no, I don't think so. But some of the things are real, happening in real time, okay?
Don't tell me I don't have.
Okay, this is the trailer to the movie.
So, do you think you have an anger problem? Don't tell me I don't have a right to be angry. You don't know what he did to me. Help me understand this injustice. Just tell me what happened.
How far do you want to go?
Why don't we just start from the beginning?
He was beautiful. Gotta give him that. I was everything he needed me to be. I was strong when he needed me to be. I played weak. 18 years seemed to pass like days.
He wouldn't cheat on you, would he?
He's not touching me, so if he's not getting it from me, he's getting it from somewhere. You lie and you cheat.
I'm Diana, Robert's fiance.
You ever considered that maybe there's another way to look at this? Maybe he did mean what he said. Maybe the deceit isn't what you think. Would you allow room for that possibility?
He caused all of this. All of it. He owes me.
What do you think he owes you?
Every damn breath in his body.
Whoa. Okay. That was a little trailer. I'm going to show you a couple scenes and then I'm going to talk about this, okay? Okay, that's just an overview right there of the movie. Okay, and I'm going to show you scenes where, okay, what happened in this movie? Okay, this young lady met this man in college, right? They fall in love. They end up getting married, okay? Now, what she does is he runs out of money going to college, right, to pay his tuition. He's maxed out on his student loans. Her mother passes away. Her mother gives her a house, which is paid off in $300,000, right? So she uses that money to help him get through college, okay? And she's paying the bills while he's getting his degree, okay? And he's an engineer, okay? And she spends all that money. He gets his degree, but because when he was a young teenager, he robbed a store, got in trouble, so they charged him as an adult, so he carried a felony, so he couldn't get a job. It just so extreme, right? Well, instead of going to work, he works on this battery he has, a self-charging battery that he feels is going to become big. He's going to make it big with this thing. Meanwhile, she's taking care of him. Meanwhile, she's paying the bills. And she pays for his last 2 years in college so he can graduate. Okay. Meanwhile, all that $300,000 goes away. Now his battery still hadn't hit. It still hadn't been the success he's dreaming about. Okay. But she still carries him. And finally, well, after she runs out of money and he's kind of desperate to keep pouring money into this battery he's working on. So she takes out a lien against the home, okay, against the house her mom passed on to her, right? Well, it don't pan out. They're in debt. They can't afford to make the payment on the house, right? On the second mortgage or whatever it is. So her family sees that they're in trouble. So her sisters and their husbands have like a delivery service. So they put some money against what they have to keep everything afloat, right? Well, it don't work out. They go bankrupt. She loses her mother's house, lost all that money, so she gets pissed off. So she kicks them out, says, we're done, it's over. And then towards the end, she's like, just get a job, just help out. You know, she's like, done. But he's like, I know this is going to work, and he keeps stringing her along. Okay? And then finally, she just cuts him off. She just divorces him, and he leaves. He ends up working as a dishwasher. He, living at the bare minimum. Okay. Well, as he's trying to float his idea, he meets up with this girl, which I forgot to tell you, he cheated on his wife while she was helping him along the way. And the crazy thing is, after his wife divorced him, he goes with the girl he cheated with. Okay. Now, when you look at this movie, there's so many red flags about this guy, it's not even funny. First of all, you get married, you cheated on her, okay? But she forgives him. He's not working. He's consumed with this battery while she's carrying the load. And then after a while, she loses faith in him, okay? But when she leaves, his battery takes off. He's instantly a millionaire. Now he's in love with this other woman, but she divorced him, but she wants him back and feels that what she did for him, he owes her. And I mean, this movie goes to the extremes. I mean, she gets so angry. I mean, she's wanting to unalive people. I mean, she gets really psycho, right? But when I look at this movie, I see so many similarities with this actress in this movie and black women. How black women will pour into you. They will give you everything. Black women will take a chance on you. Black women, if she loves you and she thinks you're messed up, she won't kick you to the curb. She'll try to fix you. That's how loving black women are. They'll give you it all. But so many times there's men that exploit black women, take advantage of them, and don't pour back into what she's poured into them. Okay? And it's almost like she was the come-up woman for this man that ended up with this other woman. Okay? And you got to see the movie to know what I'm talking about. And some of you have seen it. Okay? But I'll show you some scenes where she's fed up and, she's just done. Let me show these real quick.
Looking at me.
Oh, okay, that's short.
There were times when I doubted myself. Kept working and kept me believing.
We are never getting back together. Okay?
Yeah,
Never.
I know.
So, what is this? You borrow a suit? You come up here and try to impress me? For what?
My battery, it hit. Yeah, I signed a deal. I'm in business with Prescott.
Good for you.
Good for us. I know our divorce is finalized, but I wanted you to have this for everything you've done for me over the years. I don't know of any woman who would have put up with me, loved me, cared for me, believed in me. I don't blame you. Like I said, I started to doubt myself. Just sorry that my dream took so long to come true.
Okay, what's happening here is after he hit it big with his battery, he's giving her money and thanking her for loving him, getting him through it. Okay. That's great and wonderful. He turned out to be I guess a good guy over that. But what he put her through, most cases when a woman does that much for a man, usually 9 times out of 10, it don't turn out well. It usually either he keeps taking advantage and it just till everything's gone. Okay. But in this movie, he came back, hit it big with his battery, and instant millionaire. Okay. And that at that point she wants him back, but he's moved on to another woman. And this is where she loses control. Okay. Let me show another scene here real quick.
Call me, baby. I mean, they offered me $800,000. And he was ready to write that check today. And I'm sure if I had a prototype, it would have been a lot more.
$800,000 today.
Yeah.
You need to take the money.
I can't.
There is no damn money. He lying.
Just let me understand this. This house is getting foreclosed on. And you turned down an $800,000 check that Mr. Prescott was gonna write you today. Is this the bullshit you selling me?
Baby, this is not bullshit.
Then call him and take the offer.
It's not a good offer. It's not a good offer, baby.
It's not a good offer. So I just lose my mother's house.
Baby, I'll buy you a big house. As a matter of fact, we're gonna live in a high-rise building overlooking the city, and that diamond, I'm gonna get you. And Miss Gale, private jet. We're gonna make it, baby. This is it.
No, we're not.
Okay. All right, that's where she left him, wanted a divorce, right? And then here's where they're in with the lawyers about the divorce. And then I'll go into this.
Are you sure you want to do this? I still love you so much. I do.
We are prepared to let you have the car and your clothes.
No, you keep it. Keep it all. Everything. I don't want anything. I just want to say this and I'm done. Mel, I am so sorry that I couldn't be what you...
Okay. I don't know what that little character was saying, but okay, that's where they're in divorce court and she wants that divorce. She's done. She cut ties. He's in remorse because he knows all that she's done for him. Okay. He even says, thank you for loving me. Thank you for being, she's done it all. Okay. And he squandered all the money she had, her mom's house. Okay. He does hit it big and give it all back. But a lot of times dreamers like this, it don't pan out. Now, his battery, yeah, keep working on your battery. Maybe something good will happen, but get a job and work on a career. Okay. And then on the side, work on your dream. Okay. But he put his dream first, which hurt his marriage. And then he had an affair. That didn't help. And when she broke it off, he hit it big. He didn't come back to her. And that's what set everything off, because in this movie, she goes on a rampage and just, she's on a living piece. She's just going psycho, on everybody. But a lot of this is kind of unrealistic, the way I see it. I mean, it's one of those things that these things can happen, but happening all together, him having all this, so much bad luck, and at the end just hitting it big and becoming a millionaire overnight. It's kind of unrealistic. Not saying it can't happen, but it most likely won't happen. I think he didn't put his wife and family first. That's where he was wrong. He put his dream above his wife and his family. And they didn't have kids because she got injured ramming into his trailer house that he was having an affair with another woman while he's married. So she got so injured she couldn't have children. So it took the kids out of it. The whole thing was just so tragic. Okay. But the reason I want to talk about this movie, Acrimony or Acrimony. Okay. And that word means discontent, disappointed, just unhappy. Okay. And he put her there. Now he tries to make it right at the end, but he moves on. So she was like the come up girl. Okay. So many times you hear about this. Now, this is what Black women do. And this is what makes Black women so valuable and so amazing. Okay. When I say when a Black woman loves you, you're blessed. Okay. And what I mean, and from what I've seen, my experience, and especially with my wife poured everything into me. You guys don't understand. And this movie hits home with me because that's kind of like that character Robert, and her name was Melinda. Okay. I was lacking, and my wife accepted me for who I am. Right. And, I got in the Army, and that was our job, and we had our dreams, and, but unlike this Robert guy, my wife wasn't taking care of me. I was paying the bills. I was taking care of it financially. Okay. Now, my wife is always there, poured into me. Okay. When I was getting my reading level up, when I was taking courses and going through, paying tutors to help me relearn how to read or read better, you might say. My wife was there, and she always was supportive, and she always made me feel like we're going to fix this. It'll be done, and it'll be like it never happened, right? And I would read every chance I got. Me and my wife would buy books, and when I read so many, the goal was read so many books to get my reading level up, and then I was taking college classes, like preparatory college classes to get me ready for college, right? I was at the bottom, but my wife was there. But I had to have the humility, I had the work, but it's so much easier to do better when you got someone that loves you. As my wife was pouring into me, it was making me better. My education was going up. Before my reading level came up, a couple years later, then I was taking college courses. And my grades were good. I was having success I never dreamed of having, right? My military career was taking off. When I retook my ASVAB test, and that's the test you take to get in the military, right? I retook it, and as I was learning to read, I retook it again, and I did so good that it didn't count. And let me explain. And any of you that have been in the military, you retake your ASVAB. If you do so good and make an extreme improvement, they'll make you take it again. Because it's just out of the ordinary to improve that much. So it was a disappointment because it didn't count, but I did so good. I took it again, did good again. Then it counted, right? Then I was able to change my MOS and get a a job I can learn from in the Army that helped me today, right? But my wife was kind of my backbone in that, had my back, and loved me so much to where I felt I can accomplish anything, and my family's seen a turnaround in me like no other. And probably the most respected person in my family is my wife. I know it's true for most of the people in my family, but it's because my wife had character. She had love. She poured everything into me. And now my wife reaps the benefits because I pour back in. The more money I make, the more wealth I have, but the more wealth my wife has. You know what I mean? I'm able to give my wife a nice house. I'm able to take care of my wife financially to where she don't have to work, where she can feel comfortable, safe. I could provide for her. And I would give my wife anything. But you know what made it work? Is I didn't take what the black woman gave me, my wife, I gave it back. And it's like it's multiplied. And that's why a lot of times black women do better when they open up their options. And I'm not trying to put nobody down, but I think the men that are with black women, and especially those of us that are investors, we appreciate black women. We embrace it. We want to be with them. We want them to be part of our life. And when they show us love, they pour into us. There's nothing we can do but give it back, and we want to. And my mission in life is my wife's happiness. See, black women aren't the problem. Not at all. It's just these men don't know. These dusty Diablos out here don't know how to love black women the right way. And what I mean, love them the right way, is to love them with all their heart. Give them love, respect. Treat them like the beautiful treasure that they are. Put them first. You put a black woman first, you'll be blessed forever. Because she's already put you first. My wife already put me first. Just like that woman in Acrimony laid it all on the line for her husband. And a lot of men get that and they move on. I didn't move on because it would have been a curse for me to do that. I stayed where I'm at because the true love is with my wife. The true love is what me and Sandy have. And that's why I'm successful. It's not that I'm well, let me say this. I'm not super smart, okay? I'm not dumb, but I don't have a brilliant mind. I'm not a scholar. I'm not, but I tell you what I am. I'm a man that has a big heart. I'm a man that works hard, and I'm consistent. And I do pray. Hard work has opened doors for me. Being consistent, always showing up to work on time, always being consistent where people can depend on you. When I was in the Army, I always did what I was told and improved and did better. I was never the best, but I'd say I was the most consistent. And I worked hard. One thing people can't take away from me is my hard work and my consistency. And then you put prayer in there and faith in God, and that's how I win. I'm not winning because I'm outdoing people. I'm winning because I'm hardworking and consistent. And I appreciate the blessings I have. I appreciate my wife. Without my wife, I wouldn't be half of what I am. They say a good man, all good men have a good woman behind them, right? They say that, right? Behind every good man is a good woman. That is true. You have a wife that loves you, you're blessed. And she's only going to make you better if you love her the right way. And let me tell you about love. Listen to me. Men, women, listen to me. You want true love. Let me tell you something. True love is like making a cake. People are saying, what? What are you talking about, Roadrunner? Let me explain. When it comes to love, there's different areas of love, right? There's the emotional love. There's a spiritual love, right? There's a physical love. Okay? When you're married, you should love your wife in all areas. She should be your best friend, someone you could talk to, someone you love being around, someone you want to make her life better, make her happy, right? Connect with her emotionally, spiritually, and also physically, right? But most people, they don't know how to make this cake, right? They have the ingredients in front of them, but they go for the icing. Oh my God, this icing's great. It tastes great, right? Icing, it's wonderful. It's just, oh my God, can't get enough. That's the physical part, right? Having the physical part, having the sexual part, yeah, that feels good. It's great. It's wonderful, right? But if that's all you got, you don't have love. You don't have the cake. All you have is the icing. Okay? When you make a cake, it takes what? The batter, eggs, butter, sugar, what all you put in the cake, right? That represents different parts of love. You know, the friendship you have, that's a part of the love. The emotional connection you have, that's a part of the ingredients in the cake, you know. And then the spiritual love you have for each other, you know, and that's part of the ingredients. And you make this cake. You got all the areas of love in this cake. Your love is true at that point. Now you put on the frosting, right? That represents the physical. So guess what? You got all areas of love. And the physical is the icing on the cake. You already got the love and the cake's already great. That just makes it a little bit better. Just makes it that much better, right? That's how I look at true love. When you love someone, the physical part should always be the last. Like in a cake, you don't put the frosting first, right? It wouldn't make sense. And when all you have is the frosting, the physical, right? It's going to taste good. It's going to be great. But after it's gone, you don't really have much. And in fact, you're kind of sick because you don't have the full cake, right? But if you have the whole cake, it's all great. Then the physical part is the little extra. And let me tell you, the physical part is so much better when it's with someone you love than someone you don't, right? But the problem with us as a society is we go for the physical first. Oh my God, she's hot. She's fine. I got to get with her. But do you really love her? Does she really love you? You know what I mean? And women can fall in lust too. And you got to think, is that all you want is the icing? Or do you want the cake? I tell you, when it comes to love, I want it all. When I married my wife, Sandy, I didn't want to just do the love part, the physical part. I wanted to love her in all areas. Does that make sense? I wanted the friendship too. I wanted the emotional connection. I wanted the trust. I wanted us to connect. And then the physical's the icing on the cake. Bam. And that's how it should be. And it makes it complete. Anyway, I just thought I would. But I tell you, my wife has been such a blessing to me. I, I, I mean, I don't even know why I have it so good. Guys, I feel guilty. I do, because I know I don't deserve a wife as good as I have. But I tell you this, I am thankful for my wife. And I do thank God for my wife. I do. I do appreciate my wife. I don't deserve her, but I thank God I have her. And that movie Acrimony, it hits home with me because I see myself kind of like Robert. I'm just starting. I got some problems, and I got a wife that loves me with all her heart, and she's there for me, just like his wife was there for him. How many times does a black woman pour into a man and he ends up going to another woman? How many times does that happen? How many times you guys hear about that? She loves him with everything. But yet, he uses her, he comes up and moves on. And then the guy wonders later in life, well, damn, why am I hitting the wall? Well, you passed up on a woman that loves you. Like she said at that divorce hearing, she said, you had a good woman. And he was like, trying to get him to take her back. And she didn't. And she shouldn't have to. I mean, just watch the movie if you haven't seen it. They're supposed to be making a part 2 on Netflix soon. But some people say it's not that good. Some people say it's great. There's mixed reviews I saw. I thought it was good. I think it's a bit unrealistic, though. Some of the things I'm like, okay, yeah, right. Okay, you're living off your wife and not pulling your weight, but you hit it big with this battery, and now I don't know. But anyway, you might have a different look on the movie. Some people think the guy was the victim because he's just trying to be successful, and it took a little more and a little more time, and she should have stuck with her man longer. I disagree. There's so many red flags. He should have been working from the get-go, and he should have never cheated on her. Okay. But that's just my opinion. But she does go psycho, and she harms him and his newly wife, which that was wrong on her part, but you could see where she's very upset, But so many times, guys, I just look at that movie and I'm like, oh my God. This woman is like a lot of black women that love the men they're with and give them everything. Then they turn around and he moves on her. And how many years are wasted? And she said in that movie, well, all he's got, it's mine. I helped him get there. And I believe it is her. The wealth I have is my wife's wealth. She helped me get there. So what I got is hers too. Well, that's what a marriage is. It's together, right? But there are 3 things I had going for me out of high school. Even though I was headed nowhere fast, I had a father that loves me. I found a wife that loves me. And I had the United States Army. And that combination brought me success. Number one, my father humbled me. Even though I did many things wrong and I didn't follow his advice like I should have, I still had humility. There was some character in my heart I needed to bring out. Okay? My father never gave up on me. Then my wife, Sandy, she loved me with everything she had. She's always had my back. My goals were her goals instantly. She just wanted me to be happy. And then the Army gave me a chance to learn something, to learn a trait, to make myself marketable. And I tell you that my Army life, it wasn't all easy. It was, I've been deployed so many times, it's not even funny. There, towards the end of my career, I went to Iraq 3 times. One time was for 18 months. Other times a year. But it was a way that I could provide for my family when I was starting out. I could build on my life. And it helped me to get a career I have now. It helped me put my children through college. All my kids are college educated, all 3 of them. And I remember my father said, son, I said, Dad, how do I become successful? How do I, because nothing's going on. I can only get these jobs. He's like, well, you don't have no experience. You don't have no skills. You got to learn. Well, what did I do? Okay, work hard, be consistent, and pray. And he said, you'll figure it out. Like, what? What kind of advice is that? But it was the right advice. And I tell you, you do a good job for people, years later, they'll remember you. Years later, they might be able to do something for you. Maybe, maybe not. Or maybe teach you something that you can use to make you more marketable. But anyway, guys, we've been on 2 hours and 41 minutes. Okay. A lot is on my heart. A lot is on my mind. Okay. I'm going to be on YouTube as long as I can be. Okay. As long as God wants me to be here, I'll be here. If I'm not here one day, it's not that I choose not to be, it's because I can't. But then again, I might be here for 30 years. Who knows? I don't know about that long. Be an old man in a walker doing videos. No, but what I'm saying is, I love doing this. Look, I get a lot of hate for what I do. I do. And if you want to get hate from people, just say black women are the most beautiful and most amazing women, and I love them. Just say that. You would think people say, oh, that's cute. Some might, but a lot of people hate it when you say that. Telling you. Now, I don't get all hate. I do get a lot of people that show me love that, you know, when they see me down, they'll email me and say, Roadrunner, it's all right. You know, I got you. You're going to be fine. And give me words of encouragement. And then I'll get death threats. And I'm like, what the heck? And apparently I've been, somebody gave me wind of, I guess, a group trying to take my channel down because they don't like what I say. But, well, if they're able to take it down, it's because God allows it. If not, well, God wants me to be here. That's how I look at it. I just feel that I need to get the message out there. And I think black women need to open up their options. I think white men do too. Okay. I think we need to go for who loves us. I think we need to go for the best option. And black women are the best option. Look, I married a black woman. Been married for 31 years. My son, I highly recommend let me say this. I'd love to see my son with a black woman. I would. I'd love to see my son with a traditional black woman because I know she would love him. Right? I believe black women are the best option. And that's why I chose to be with a black woman. That's why I encourage my son to get to know black women. Okay? And what I mean by that is meet them, talk to them, go on a date with them, get to know them. Okay? You might find a good wife. I'm just saying. I think black women are the best option, especially traditional black women. You can't go wrong with that combination. I'm just saying. And I always wonder, why do I get hate for saying I love black women? Like, why am I not allowed to be attracted to a woman that has a different skin tone? I always wondered that in my life. I always wondered, because my parents never said it was wrong. But then I go to school and I tell my friends what I think, and they're like, what? And this is back in the 70s, right? They're like, what? Black woman, what? Because it's out of the ordinary. And I guess, yeah, you get hate because it breaks the narrative. It does. It goes against what we're told we're supposed to do and supposed to be. I'm told I'm supposed to be attracted to a woman that looks like me because this false narrative that, well, people of the same race are attracted to people of the same race and that's just natural. No, it's not. No. Men and women are attracted to each other. That's natural. But you could find beauty in any group of women, right? And I see beauty in all women. I do. But when it comes to dating and marriage, it's black women or nothing. And I don't mean it in a bad way. I just, that's where my heart is. And you know what? I chose my path, and guess what? It worked out pretty good. I've been blessed. And I share my life story to tell people, don't be afraid to open up your options. Don't be afraid to love somebody that's different. I find more in common with black women than I do white women anyway. And maybe that's because I'm traditional. A lot of black women around are traditional. Maybe that's what it is. But something's happening that we're having success where everybody doubted us. But look, I mean, and I would say to men that feel like me, young men, you might, and you're out there, and let me speak to you because there's more of you out there than we even know. Okay? You might be an investor. You might be attracted to black women. And I'm not talking about lusting after them because you think their bodies are made. No. If you're one of these guys that you just in love with black women, you want to be around them, you just feel comfortable with them, you just have love for them. And you might not understand why that is. And you might think, okay, why do I feel this way when I'm not around many black women? But I just got to be around them. I just love being with them. That's something that's happening. There's a divine purpose there. You're meant to have those feelings. You're meant to have love for black women. And that's okay. You're not weird. You're not, I mean, you're different. You're not doing what everybody's doing, and that's okay. We're not all meant to do the same thing. We're not all meant to be with the same people. Some of us are meant to be in an interracial marriage. Some of us are destined for that. There is a reason for that. There is a purpose. And my advice for you to be, you love black women, you be with black women, but you find the one that loves you. And you give her everything. You give her everything. Because I guarantee she loves you. She's giving you everything. And there's black women out there too. There's black women that are investors too. I'm telling you. And sometimes we get confused. We think, well, why don't we feel the way other people do? Well, we're not meant to feel the way other people do. We're not meant to follow everybody's path. We're not meant to do the status quo and do what everybody's doing. Some of us are meant to go the other way, to cut against the grain. And I think those of us that need to do that, leave us alone and let us be with who we love. Don't ever, and I'm going to tell anybody this, don't ever tell somebody that they have to be with a certain group. Now, I'll tell you stats where black women and white men are leading the way, and that's beautiful. But I will never tell somebody, you need to be with a white guy, because that's how it's supposed to be. No. Everybody's different. Some are meant to open up their options, some are meant not to. That's what we got to understand. But you love black women, you go for the black woman. You love her, you respect her. You find the one that loves you, and you love her with everything you got. And I guarantee you'll be blessed. But if you exploit the black woman, if you don't do her right, you will be cursed. I'm just saying. But anyway, let me go ahead and close this because it's getting late. I've been on for almost 3 hours. Yeah, I could get winded. And I'm sorry. Guys, I don't mean to carry it on so long, but there's so many things I want to talk about, so many things I want to cover. And I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with loving somebody that's different than you. Okay? So what? She's darker than you are. That's okay. I always found black women beautiful. Like, oh my God, they're just amazing. And when you love somebody before you desire them, that's the right way. I tell people. They say, how can you know that you love black women like you say you do? Number one, I loved them before I could desire them. Before I looked at them sexually, right? Before I was in love with a black woman as a child. You might say I was making a cake the right way. The frosting came later on with marriage. Okay? If we all did it that way, God, the world would be a better place. if we, and I say, us as men in general, if we just love women the right way, our world would be so much better. But anyway, it is what it is. But that don't mean we can't do our best, right? And guys, go for the best option. Go where you're loved. Go where you're celebrated. And you know what? Do you? But anyway, I'm going to have to shut down. Guys, thank you for tonight. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting this channel. And just say a prayer for me. There's people coming for me. There's people trying to manipulate my numbers and crazy stuff. Well, apparently, I don't know. But I've been told some crazy stuff. And, you know. But anyway, just say a prayer for me. And, you know. And thank you for being part of the Roadrunner Swirl 2 Investment Network. For as long as it lasts, thank you. I have no intentions on stopping this. I love doing it. It's my passion. And I love talking to you guys. And I love the comments you get, the support. Like I said, I get hate or I get love. Seems like no in between, you know? It's like either people love what I'm saying or they hate what I'm saying. It's like, but I guess when you choose a black woman, you're going to get a lot of hate, but it's worth it. You know, if you want the best, you got to fight the hardest. And black women are the best, and you're going to, but it's worth the fight. It's worth every minute of it. I would do it 1,000,000 times over. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and close. I'm going to say a little prayer, if that's okay. And let me just say a little prayer, and then we'll be dismissed. And I'll be back Saturday again. I'm going to do the Saturday weekly show. It will be the same. I'm going to try to do it earlier than 10:30 Eastern. I'm going to try to get it to 8. I'm going to try to get it 8:30 Eastern. I'm going to try to do that on Saturdays. That way we're not up so late. I mean, I'm off tomorrow. It don't matter how late I stay up. But I know some people work weekends. And, you know, some people are overseas. Some people in the UK, Africa. Guys, I just, you know, I just thank you. Without you, this don't exist. Without you, you know, it just, the channel ain't there. But because you're here, because of your support, let me say this, you're a blessing to me. You know, with all the hate that's going on in the world, it feels good to get a little love every once in a while, you know, really does. But let me go ahead and say a prayer and we'll be dismissed. Lord, thank you for this show tonight. Thank you for everybody that's come up here tonight. Lord, thank you for everything you've done in my life with my wife, my family, Lord. And I pray that you bless everybody here on this channel. Those that are in interracial relationships, Lord, and about to take that step to investment, Lord, please bless them. Please protect them against all evil around them and all the hate, Lord. And Lord, I pray you bring our country together, that you would make us united and not segregated, Lord. Please destroy the evil forces of segregation, Lord. Please destroy the ones that hate and want to divide us. Please destroy that evil and make us one nation, Lord. Make us come together with love. Lord, I pray for that. I know it's a lot to ask, but I just pray that you bring good people together, Lord, and please give people the courage to take their swirl to investment, to take their interracial dating to marriage, and find out what true love is, Lord. And I pray you keep this YouTube channel going, Lord. I ask you, Lord, please keep it going. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. God bless you guys. I tell you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you for supporting this channel. Thank you for being a blessing to me and my wife, Sandy. Okay. And my wife wants to tell you guys just thank you for all the support you do. She says to tell you thank you for the love you show me and you show her. And I'm grateful. My wife is everything to me. I thank God for my wife. Without my wife, I would never know what true love is. And I'm grateful. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. You guys have a good night. God bless you and your families. And I'll see you next Saturday. Have a good night. God bless.